The disappearance of the King of Asheville, secrets the town try to hide. Missing at dawn, on the morning of September 14th, 2020, the mountain town of Asheville, North Carolina, woke up to an eerie silence. For decades, one man's name had echoed through its streets, Charles Beaumont. He was the town's beloved benefactor, a self-made millionaire who rebuilt schools, donated hospitals, and kept hundreds employed through his chain of real estate firms. To locals, he wasn't just successful, he was royalty. They called him the King of Asheville. But that Friday morning, the king was gone. At exactly 7:12 a.m., Charles's housekeeper, Margaret Hines, arrived at his sprawling Biltmore Forest estate. The iron gates were closed, the intercom silent. She buzzed twice, no answer. That was unusual. Charles was known for being awake before dawn, drinking black coffee while watching the sunrise over the hills. When Margaret finally keyed in the gate code, she noticed something odd. The front door was half open, swaying slightly in the wind. She called out, "Mr. Beaumont?" Silence. Inside, his phone sat on the kitchen counter, still plugged into its charger. The morning paper lay untouched at the front porch, but his car was missing, a black 2017 Mercedes S-Class. At 7:39 a.m., Margaret dialed 911. By noon, word had spread like wildfire. In Asheville, news traveled fast, and when concerned Charles Beaumont, it traveled faster. Within hours, local TV stations ran the headline. Beloved philanthropist Charles Beaumont reported missing. Cameras gathered outside his mansion. Reporters shouted questions the police refused to answer. Neighbors described him as generous, kind, meticulous. A man who never missed Sunday service, never left town without notice. Detective Elena Morales, a seasoned investigator with the Asheville PD, was assigned to lead the case. To her, the scene didn't scream kidnapping. There were no signs of forced entry, no blood, no struggle. But something didn't sit right, Morales later recalled. Everything in that house looked too perfect, too arranged, almost like someone wanted us to believe he just walked away. The first 48 hours, police tracked the Mercedes using highway cameras. At 8:16 a.m., it was spotted leaving Town Mountain Road, heading south toward the interstate. At 8:42 a.m., it vanished from all footage. The car never reached the toll booth at exit 23. Cell tower data placed Charles's phone inside the house all morning. His smartwatch disconnected at 7:05 a.m. Investigators searched nearby woods, creeks, and parking lots. Volunteers combed the trails where he often hiked. By day 2, FBI agents joined in, citing the high-profile nature of the disappearance. As the investigation deepened, whispers began. People who once praised Charles started remembering things, small, uncomfortable things. A business partner mentioned private meetings at odd hours. A former employee claimed the king had been under pressure, but wouldn't say from whom. Detective Morales asked Margaret, the housekeeper, if Charles had seemed worried lately. Margaret hesitated before answering. He stopped sleeping well. I'd find him pacing the hallway at 3 a.m. talking on the phone. Once he told me, "If anything happens to me, don't believe what you hear." That sentence froze Morales. On the third day, a local fisherman made a call to the sheriff's office. He'd spotted something glimmering beneath the surface of Beaver Lake, less than 2 miles from Beaumont's mansion. Divers arrived before sunrise. They pulled up Charles's Mercedes, door ajar, driver's seat empty. No Charles, no blood, no struggle marks. Just a faint scent of cologne on the headrest and a single gold cufflink wedged near the gas pedal. It was engraved with a crown. News crews swarmed the lake. Rumors ignited. Had the king taken his own life? Was it an accident? Or had someone powerful wanted him silenced? Detective Morales knew one thing. The scene didn't make sense. The keys were still in the ignition, but the gear was in neutral, not drive. Someone had staged it. While investigators drained the lake, reporters began digging into Beaumont's finances. Within 24 hours, they discovered something shocking. A $4.6 million withdrawal from his charitable foundation, made just 2 days before he disappeared. The money was transferred to a private account in the Cayman Islands. The king's perfect image began to crack. Was he a victim, or was he running from something darker? His attorney, David Lang, appeared on local TV, insisting Charles was innocent of any wrongdoing. Charles Beaumont dedicated his life to this community. He would never abandon it. But behind the scenes, detectives found an unsigned note in Beaumont's desk drawer. The handwriting was shaky, rushed. I tried to fix it, but it's too late. Tell them I'm sorry. Late that night, police received new footage from a gas station in Hendersonville, 20 miles south of Asheville. The timestamp read 8:32 a.m., just minutes after his car was last seen on the highway cameras. The footage was grainy, but it showed a tall man in a baseball cap, dark jacket, and gloves buying a bottle of water. He looked like Charles, but the clerk wasn't sure. When Detective Morales enhanced the video, she froze the frame at 0:08. The man turned slightly toward the camera, revealing a deep bruise under his left eye. "Pause it there," she said quietly. The timestamp flickered. 8:32 and 17 seconds a.m., and behind him, barely visible, a shadowy figure stood near the station's exit, watching. By the end of the first week, the King of Asheville was officially declared missing under suspicious circumstances. Police had no suspect, no motive, and no body. But what they did have was a growing list of secrets, ones the king had fought hard to keep buried. Detective Morales gathered her files, staring at the cufflink on her desk. The engraving glinted under the fluorescent light, a crown inside a ring of initials. CB. "If this was just a disappearance," she whispered. "Why does it feel like a message?